everybody, how's it going? Welcome to my info message number 2. Okay, so the first one I talked about how to write a good speech. I got caught off at the end, but I think you got the meat or the gist of it. If you are interested more in learning how to write speeches, I can do a second one. Let me know in the comments under the speech writing one if you're interested. So I want to talk as a writer myself. I haven't published anything in my name before, but things have been published that I wrote. I was a ghostwriter, basically. But so whether you're writing a short story, I am very much learning right now how to write screenplays. This is kind of new to me. Even when I used to write plays, I never did it in the right format. I still don't think that I do things in the right format as far as writers go. I'm a little backwards in how I do things. But so I get asked a lot, like, how do you come up with a story? How do you come up with a plot? How do you come up with characters or invest in them? Sorry, I thought I had a bug on my face. I'm like, no better way to use your phone as a mirror. Ugh, that scared me. I have this hole right here. Felt like something flew through there, but it didn't. We're good. Anyway, I always get asked, like, where does it come from? How do you get ideas? And it's really hard to answer that because I get ideas from literally everything. I write songs. I write poems. I don't do the music, by the way. I'm just a lyricist, not a musician. Let me clarify. There's a difference between like songwriters who can actually play and write and sing, and then me who just comes in and helps them find words for their beats. I do that a lot. They're like, Lizzie, listen to this. I need words. I'm like, okay. But anyway, I get it from all over. I could be watching a show about zombies and get an idea about an apocalypse, but it has nothing to do with zombies. I'm just inspired by the end of the world type of stuff. So it could be anything I'm watching, listening to, talking about, reading on the news. Like, ideas literally come from anywhere. I've always been a creative person. I started, like, I have relatives that I would come and stay at their house, and I would write a story before bed and leave it there, and they kept them, and I was like 6 or 7 because they thought the story was so cute. Like, I would just leave shit around. Like, the act of writing was something I needed to do as soon as I was able to write, because I was dyslexic, and it took me till pretty much 4th grade to get a handle on reading and writing, and you're almost done with elementary school at that point. And I always wanted to read. I always wanted to write. And once I was able to, and I battled that, that's all I wanted to do. So really, I don't mean to brag, but like, ideas, I don't ever lack ideas. I do lack structure. I do lack motivation. I get bored with my own writing. I get bored with my own stories, and I don't always finish them. That's a big thing with me. I don't know how to finish them. I'll get stuck, and then I'll get a new idea, and I'll get a side project, and I'll kind of bench it, and I go back. So, like, I'm not a very organized writer. I have ADHD. So, like, I have to work on things until I can't, and I'm a set it aside type of person, and not everybody can handle that. Like, just be diving into a story and then give it up for like 6 weeks, and then come back and pick up right where you left off. I have the capability of doing that because I want to be authentic to the story. If it feels like I'm just rushing to finish, I will literally stop writing. I'm not going to do my story an injustice because the ending just hasn't come. I think the best thing from a writer is you have to have patience. And there really is no, like, I fucking hate deadlines. I think the worst thing you could tell a writer is you have to have a book done by whenever, or you have to have your album done by whenever. I just think that is imprisonment, and I'm a free spirit, and I will not operate in that way. It has to come from itself. It has to come organically. So if it takes me 8 years to write a fucking book, it takes me 8 years. And I think more people as writers, especially who step into this industry of people wanting things now, like they finish a season because they can binge it and they want the next season right then and there. But that's why a lot of these shows turn into shit. It's the pressure of time. And I think you need to lose that as an artist. I don't think that you should ever commit to something in a time frame, because you could be the best writer in the world. It's not going to be your best work because you rushed it. You didn't, I mean, I know people, like, look at Nora Roberts. She spits out multiple books a year, and she has a format. Like, I can foretell her books because she found a format that works for her, and she uses that format. A lot of musicians do that. A lot of folky, like Taylor Swift, does that. I'm not shading her at all. She writes her own stuff, and she makes it, but it's very much has its own, you know, repetitive like nature. That's why I can't, I just feel like they're thrown up in the air, and yeah, that can make a great story and a great album, but there's no, I'm an empath. If I don't believe you when you're singing it, I don't want to fucking listen to it. I don't really like or care for books that are like niche, like 50 Shades of Grey. I didn't finish the Harry Potter series. I don't like Nietzsche like shit. I'm very different. I'm very eccentric, and I'm drawn to people like that. Like, people don't get my music choices. I'll have a whole fucking album of oldies, and I don't have very many fucking people that are modern. I'll shout out a few just so you can, I mean, a lot of these people do have repetitive natures, but that's just the nature of the beast in writing. People have overstepped as editors and marketers and managers. I think we're going to do a part 2 on how the ideas and character stuff. I'm just going to just keep spewing on about this because it came out organically and we're going with it. But like, I just think people are in such a fucking rush. But musicians that I really think have impressed me with their writing as far as an empath and believing them, I always shout out Kelly Clarkson, Jessie J. Like, she's an amazing writer, and how she performs it in the same with Kelly. Like, she could be singing someone else's song, and it comes from a place in their soul that not everybody has. Not even the best artists that sell out in the world impress me. It's very hard to impress me as a writer and as a musician, because I don't want no niche kitschy make a few bucks bullshit. I want your soul. I want to read your fucking soul. I want to hear your soul, and I want to see it. Period. Okay? So let's talk about modern people. I mean, that's kind of my generation. But there's a lot of talented writers. I don't really want to trash any females, but I have a hard time bonding. I do like Miley Cyrus. I do think that she, like, I didn't always get her fashion choices, but I always loved her music. She reminds me a lot of, like, early Fleetwood Mac or Stevie Nicks or early Janis Joplin. So I like her energy. I like her vibes. Joss Stone. Nobody really talks about Joss Stone. She's fucking amazing. I love that she sings barefoot. It's very grounding. She's got witchy vibes. You know? As far as men, I like Harry Styles. I think he's a nut, but in the best way. You don't dress like anybody else. You don't act like anyone else. I haven't sit down and listened to his fucking music, but I found a little, it's not his, like, not like Watermelon Sugar, although it's catchy. It's fucking catchy. All of them have catchy shit. But he had some sleepers on those albums that I was like, dang, I like that song. I Saw Your Soul, Ed Sheeran, same thing. I think he's a good writer. I think that his last album that he did bore his soul. but there was also fake shit on there too. But you can't be as big as those people and not be a little bit fake and have to pop stuff out. It's the pressure. That's what I'm getting at. But I think that they are the newer